Hey, this is Sean. This is Toby.
And this is Toby and Sean and Toby.
Yeah, happy St. Patrick's Day.
Happy South by Southwest.
We're hanging here. It's March 17th, and we're going to talk about a few new releases. Talk about gigs later on. I will get straight to it. Let me see. So, the first thing we're going to talk about today was the book and album double release by Dolly Parton, Run Rose Run. Oh yeah, I listened to the audiobook and I listened to the album a bunch of times. I got a few thoughts on it.
Dolly's been busy. So which record is this of hers?
This is her 48th album. I don't know what book it is. She co-wrote it with James Patterson, who's not a mystery romance author. Okay, basically the book is comfort reading, is what I'm gonna call it. I was introduced to that term. I went to school with a woman, Catherine Center, who's known as the Queen of Comfort Reading. She's written such books as Things You Save in a Fire and The Lost Husband. And she was telling me, and I said, what are your books like? And she said, well, they're like well-written Lifetime movies, which is like, so Run Rose Run is about a woman clawing her way to the top. It's an empowering story of a woman named Amy Lee, Annie Lee, who moves to Nashville and make it to the top. She hooks up with a fairy godmother character, not really a fairy godmother, but a retired Nashville superstar based on Dolly Parton, voiced by Dolly Parton in the book, named Rutan.
Ruthanna Ryder.
Ruthanna Ryder. And it's a story about clawing your way to the top, and it's a story about skeletons in the closet and
snakes in the grass.
It's it's an empowering story, and it might be exactly what you need to read right now. I enjoyed it. It was very entertaining. They have to make a movie of it because Dolly already wrote all the songs, and I've been thinking that the best movie for this would be like a Pixar movie because, I think it would lend itself to that, and there would be some adult themes to it. But if they can make a movie like Up, then they can make Run Rose Run as a Pixar movie. But it'll probably wind up on Netflix or something.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
When you listen to audiobooks, do you visualize obviously you do visualize the setting, but did you see this one as a cartoon?
I did not see it as a cartoon.
But it would make it would adapt to a cartoon format or like a Pixar format?
Well, they could do it as, sure. Basically it has a little something for everyone. It's got romance and there's a car chase, and they go to a lot of cities. Most of it's in Nashville, but you wind up in Vegas and Memphis and in Texas, and there's a lot of driving around, and no, I didn't imagine it. Here's the reason, is that the last song on this album is a duet called Love or Lust, and to me, okay, first off I want to say the songs on this album kind of Dolly is giving you a sampling of everything she's known best for and that people like her for. But I gotta say, the last song, Love or Lust, that it winds up on, that production, that's the kind of song it could be on like Frozen.
Mm-hmm.
Like I work at a school and I hear the Let It Go a lot, sung at the talent show. And it's that kind of song, and it's very memorable. The lyrics are more mature, Lust or Love, obviously. It's a duet with, who?
Joe Nichols?
No,
that's all in Lost and Found.
Anyway. With the guy who produced the album with her, who co-wrote all the songs. Anyway, and that's the part when I was thinking, it sounds like that part sounds like a Disney song. Anyway, the songs I like best on this, of course, are the more country bluegrass songs. Run, Driven is probably my favorite song on here. It's really catchy. Demons with Ben Haggard. That's like an old style country song.
Who's Merle Haggard's youngest son?
Woman Up and Take It Like a Man sounds like it could have been on the soundtrack to Best Little Whorehouse in Texas.
Yeah,
you know, it's totally. There's a different production to like a musical song, you know, than a country song, you know. And there's a couple things on this. It's like, okay, we're getting into musical territory here.
Right. No, I mean, I felt that too. Musical territory and like even like a musical movie, you know, or an adaptation into a movie. You know, I can hear that with this.
Yeah, and. Oh man, Firecracker, I like that one a lot. Secrets, that's like a ballad. And no, there's a lot of current themes in here. I don't want to give away the ending, but
it's what Dolly does best. She's doing it.
Man, Dolly Parton's a national treasure. She's really smart. This thing's gonna be a gold mine. And you know, there's few songs on this that are a little corny for my taste, but there's some real earworms. The woman on her 48th album can write an earworm, and there's a few songs that will just get stuck in your head. And no, I really been enjoying it. I enjoyed the book. You know, it's really, I read mostly like science fiction and mysteries, so I read something along these lines like once a year, you know, but I'm glad it was Dolly this time, you know. It was great, you know. Yeah, Run Rose Run. Had a good time with that. So, here we go. Next up, on their 12th album from New Orleans, Crowbar, Kirk Winstein and Crowbar. They've got the New Orleans fleur-de-lis once again representing. They've been going since the 90s, early 90s. Beavis and Butthead were big fans of Crowbar. Let me see. They kind of took a break while Kirk was in Down with Phil Anselmo. And then he's been focusing on Crowbar a lot lately. And they've been touring a lot more. He's also in a band called Kingdom of Sorrow with Jamie Josta. Remember that because it will pertain to our next album we're reviewing.
And he was in Shell Shock?
Okay, so yeah, he has a good history. He's like one of the forefathers of the New Orleans metal scene. Before Crowbar was around, he was in a band called Shell Shock. And there was also a band in the same 80s scene that's still around called Hoarder that a lot of people credit as inventing the genre of groove metal made famous by Pantera. Now, Phil Anselmo is from New Orleans, and a lot of people say that he saw Hoarder a lot, and when he joined Pantera, their sound changed towards that sound, and that's really like Pantera adopted Hoarder's sound.
Wow.
Anyway.
So Kirk and Phil were both in Down together.
Yeah, they were both in Down.
What did they trade vocal duties or?
No, Phil Anselmo sang in Down. Yeah.
And what did Kirk do?
Play guitar.
Oh, he played guitar. That's right. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a poster in here. You can see him. God damn. I cut to the chase. Here we go.
Fuck yeah, that's great.
You wouldn't fuck with these guys. I mean, this guy, he doesn't need to look scary. He's already the biggest guy in this tough crew,
right.
You know? But, yeah.
I would not fuck with any of these guys.
Yeah, but then you look at, like, man, those tattoos are nice, and that t-shirt's pretty fresh,
yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But it would take you a second, you know? You'd be like... Anyway, okay. I like the riffs of Crowbar. Kirk can obviously, the guy's a riff machine. There's a ton of riffs on this album. And the thing is, what I can't stop thinking about when I listen to Crowbar, and I have a couple of their albums. Here's the one they did a couple albums back. and I was looking for one I have, like their second album from the 90s, is if I just chill out and listen to the riffs, it's fine, you know? But, the vocals kind of get to me after a while, and it kind of makes me think after a while, like, this is the band that answers the question, like, what if, like, Black Sabbath decided not to have a singer and just Geezer covered the vocals? Or what if, like, Van Halen is like, man, Dave is a pain in the ass. You know what? Mike sings pretty well. Let's just have Mike sing, you know?
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it's kind of like, whatever. He's fine. He would be a great backup singer, and the guy's a riff machine, so I actually prefer his working down a little more. But if you just want to space out and listen to kick-ass, well-produced riffs, they're fucking all over the place. Like, in a fucking almost Black Sabbath way, but not total rip-off, you know? Like, and it's not just like one chord difference from a classic riff. Like, they're in that style, but original, and it can still be done. All those riffs aren't written. Mm-hmm. I do kind of wish they had a singer, though. That being said, there's a lot of really successful bands I wish had singers. Number one on the list would be Megadeth, you know, who've sold millions and millions of records. Dude, if I was around Metallica in the early days, I would have said, you guys should get a singer, you know, like... But anyway, so that's kind of... Crowbar is a band that if they were on the side stage at the metal festival or lower down the bill, I would definitely go see them. Like, they're heavy as shit, you know? And there's some, like, groove metal thing. That's why I was going on about Hoarder. There's a little bit of that. There's a little bit of fucking, like, New York hardcore feel going on here. And there's a lot of just like slow, nasty Black Sabbath grind. Like, you know, I mean...
On this record or on the new one?
Both of them.
Both
It's the same shit.
Yeah.
And I like all these songs just fine. Except there's this one song, Denial of the Truth, where he does this clean singing, and we're getting almost into Tool territory here.
Yeah, that's how I kind of felt about the whole record almost. It was just too slick, you know?
Too slick?
Too slick for its own good, and the production was just a little too much for my taste, but fucking the licks are badass. Like, he's excellent. He shreds. He totally shreds. Speaking of Black Sabbath, you know who Crowbar should get to sing with them? Bill Ward. Bill Ward is such a great... I have to just say that Swinging the Chain is one of my favorite songs.
How about,
Never Say...
Is that on his...
It's the last song on Never Say Die.
And he sings It's Alright.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever heard his solo album? And the only song I really know on it is Ozzy sang a song called Bombers Only Open Up Bombays.
I've never heard that.
It's from the late 80s, and it's one of those things like it was on this label that folded when the week the album came out.
Oh,
but,
no.
like, yeah, it's kind of a hard luck story, but it's
But Bill Ward sings the majority of those songs?
Yeah, I think he sings. Yeah,
well, I need to get that.
Yeah, that's an album to find.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving. So there's now. Keep in mind, there's a little bit of connection here. As I said, Kirk Windstein plays also in a band called Kingdom of Sorrow. That's the other thing. Some of the vocals are kind of emo, and that we're getting into. He has this other band with Jamie Joster from Hatebreed, and Hatebreed are kind of too new school for me. Mm-hmm. I'm old. I'm 51 years old. I don't listen to Hatebreed, but you know.
You didn't listen to him 15 years ago either, so.
Yeah. No, that's not my kind of thing. but that being said. They have this band, Kingdom of Sorrow, and the drummer from Kingdom of Sorrow is a dude named Charlie Belmore, who plays on this album, the self-titled Corpsegrinder album. George Corpsegrinder Fisher.
It's Nick Belmore that plays drums on this.
Nick Belmore.
Yeah.
Okay. Singer for Cannibal Corpse, the last, 11 Cannibal Corpse albums. And, I love this album, and if you're a Cannibal Corpse fan, you probably already heard it. It's been out 2 weeks, and yeah, I mean, I was at Game Over buying a Wii game the other day, and this kid was in a Cannibal Corpse shirt, and I said, "Nice shirt." And he said, thanks. And then he goes, I love Cannibal Corpse. And I said, have you heard the new Corpsegrinder album? And he said, fuck yeah, that shit rips. And I was like, yep, that is awesome.
Did you guys high five?
Yeah. No, he didn't have.
Did you smoke them out in your car and listen to it?
No.
Badass. Would have been cool. It's a great cover. This is probably one of my favorite covers this year so far.
Uh-huh.
God, it's so great.
So Eric Rutan, who's now one of the guitar players for Cannibal Corpse and produced, he's on this last Cannibal Corpse album, and he'd been producing for them. He replaced Pat O'Brien in Cannibal Corpse, and Pat O'Brien got in all the legal trouble. You can look back on that if you like. And but anyway, he's on the first song, Acid Vat, which is the hit. But you know what? There's a ton of hits on this album. And so basically, it's the Belmore brothers who played on most of this. There's Charlie Belmore on guitars and bass, Nick Belmore on drums. And that is the exact same team behind this album, the Dee Snider album from last year, which I mentioned it was in the honorable mention on my top 20 countdown. And
that's incredible.
It sounds nothing like this. This is a total death metal album. This is a total power metal album. I mean, I guess they're both metal, but the playing is great on both. Anyway, what songs do you like on this, Sean?
All of them.
I've been talking too much.
Acid Bath is fantastic.
Bottom Dweller.
Yeah.
Jeez.
You know what I like about George's vocal style is that I can understand everything he's saying. I don't know if that makes a difference, but it just comes through very clearly. But and Nick Belmore's drumming is incredible. His double bass work is insane. But this whole fucking record shreds. It's so good. It's really.
You know what it has that a lot of death metal albums don't have? It has memorable choruses. You know,
and it has memorable choruses, and it has a couple songs that I was talking to you about before. First 5 seconds of the song is a fucking ripping lead, you know, and I really love that in death metal. And it reminds me of my buddy August's band Apraxic. But this is a solid first record, debut record from Corpsegrinder.
Yeah, and I couldn't get I had to get this one through Bandcamp too. It's on Jamie Josta's label, which I think put out this album too. And the distribution's a little trickier, but it was well worth hunting down because it's great.
Can I just show? So here is.
What's going on in this cover?
Here's George Fisher destroying some aliens. Just
zombies.
These zombie alien things, getting rid of them, doing us a favor, get those fucking things out of here. Let's death metal this shit. Fuck these guys. Everyone's crying, listening to fucking, I don't know, something terrible, Hatebreed, and he's like, fuck you, Hatebreed fans, kill these motherfuckers. And then if that's not enough,
he's saying, thank you, Hatebreed.
And then don't forget, there's George again, and hey, one more time, that's who's fucking saving the day again behind the CD. So yeah, this is a fun record.
George, I guess with this album, George Corpsegrinder Fisher officially wins the battle of between him and Chris Barnes over who's the better singer. And I've been in the Corpsegrinder camp for a while. Now Chris Barnes sang 4 Cannibal Corpse albums. Corpsegrinder sang 11 Cannibal Corpse albums. Now, of course, Chris Barnes sang the first 4, and he was on the Ace Ventura movie. And he sang Hammer Smash Face, and he was the guy that put him on the map. That being said, his stuff was 6 feet under, his voice is shot, and he's been, in the last year, gotten so bitter that he's bad-mouthing the current death metal scene, of which Corpsegrinder's a hero. and this album only cements his place. It's 10 million times better than any 6 Feet Under album.
Totally.
This is some good shit. So yeah, I'm totally Team Corpsegrinder.
Same with me. We're team Corpsegrinder. I'm gonna kill some fucking zombie aliens now. It's great. This was a solid lineup this week. I'm really happy with all these records. But I would say Corpsegrinder is the number one. Run Rose Run comes in. If we're doing a top 3 today. And then the Crowbar would be the third one. So.
Run Rose Run's cool. I appreciate the album now that I've read the book, because like who wrote what songs, and it's and the stories behind them, and the book has a real sharp ending, and it was enjoyable. It may be exactly what you need to read, and it may be not for you. It's definitely.
But look how cute she is.
She is awesome.
Look at her. She's a treasure.
And fucking every kid in Tennessee has
What
free books because of Dolly. She's a total humanitarian, and like they've been talking about, she took herself out of the running for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame because she knows rock fans aren't having it. If fucking Bad Company got nominated for the Grand Ole Opry, the fucking country fans would not have it.
Right.
And so she took it. I mean, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is encompassed. It should just be called the Music Hall of Fame, because I mean, if you're that's not rock and roll, that's just kind of. They use the name, but it encompasses a whole lot more of that.
Sure.
Where no other, it'd be like if the Baseball Hall of Fame included pickleball or whatever. It's just so she knows the temperature of where the rock and roll fans are. And she took her name out of the running. Also, I gotta say, this is the first concert I ever saw was Dolly Parton.
Wow, where did you see this concert?
It was at the Astrodome.
Wow.
It was at the Rodeo in 1977. My friend Jake, his late mom Jackie, took us.
That's awesome.
It was my first concert, and it was very, very memorable.
You wanna know
I've
what my
always
first
been a
concert
fan. Was it in Germany?
No, it was in Fort Knox, Kentucky, and it was with, guess who it was with?
Guess Who?
Nope. Lou Rawls. It was Lou Rawls. Yep.
Even older than Lou Rawls.
Yeah, and people were losing their minds and going crazy. It was really cool. But, all right, cool.
How did you get to that?
So, it was on base, when you live in a military community, they usually put on free shows for the GIs, and I don't know what war was going on at the time, but I just remember a lot of people were coming home from something.
This is 91.
No, this is 81. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So this is 1981. I was 5. And my dad was out of the country for some reason, so I guess he wasn't coming home and missed this. But my mom and my sister and I went and saw Lou Rawls. And the music they were playing before the show started was the first time I'd ever heard
Oh yeah, Planet Rock.
Africa Bombata.
Yeah,
Planet Rock. Yeah.
Oh wow,
So,
Kraftwerk.
Yeah. And that other hip hop song, Wiki 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 Wiki. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Can we jam on it?
Jam on it. Yeah. That was my first introduction to New York rap, hip hop, and then Lou Rawls. Yeah. So it was really neat.
Dang.
So Dolly Parton and Lou Rawls.
Dolly, my first real because rodeo concerts aren't quite like real concerts. They play for 40 minutes. It's not a full concert. But I saw, my mom took me to see the Village People with Gloria Gaynor opening.
Wow.
At the Summit in Houston, April of '79.
Non-rodeo.
You know what? Unlike the Dolly Parton show, they were singing along with the tape. But it took me a while to figure that out. I thought the band was hiding behind the curtain. I couldn't figure out where the band was. And then this dude, I also figured out what it meant to be gay that night at the Village People concert because, you know, like this dude ran up and started making out with a construction worker.
Wow.
But the vocals didn't change. I was like, these guys are so pro. I mean, the bodyguards, like, got the dude off there, but, like, I was like, no, everyone like sang louder once like the construction worker couldn't sing anymore, you know. Also, they had a really cool entrance, and the construction worker guy came out of an outhouse that was in the back of the stage. Like, you know, the cop rode a motorcycle out, but then the outhouse door just like, kicked open, and the, you know, construction worker comes out to the mic.
Like a portalet. Like a porta.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It was a porta potty.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was on stage. It was awesome.
That's badass.
Yeah. All right.
Well,
so
cool.
we're gonna play the song next week. We got a few things. I think I should have Sonic Youth and something else, but we'll let y'all know.
Chili Dog Fest on Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
A bunch of bands playing.
I'm playing Chili Dog Fest with John Motard at 3:30, and
There's a show at the Parlor tomorrow.
Be out with Agnosticon and
Jesus
Ferns,
Christ
no, Inflatable
sorry.
Baptist, and Romeo. Awesome. So I'll be at that too. We'll take you out with the song. Hey, I'm gonna have a link to at the bottom of this to Texas Punk 7 site, and there's gonna be a full version of the single of the song we always play at the end, and you can get that on the Secret Lovers single.
And if anyone feels inclined, link that Bill Ward LP.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
Are we gonna do Planet Rock?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll do it as well as I did Rock You Like
Rock You Like a
Hurricane. Yeah.
Are you on?
Let's see.
You're fixing it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, ready? 1,